Hi, I have decided today to talk about crying. Crying is a really great way to help to regulate our nervous system. Lots of times people are reluctant to cry. They're reluctant to cry in front of other people for sure. And oftentimes people are just really uncomfortable when people cry in front of them. So, why are people reluctant to cry? Well, there could be a number of reasons. I'll just name a few off the top of my head. It could be it could be conditioning from our family, it could be social conditioning, it could be actually right back to our pre and perinatal days where we hold a belief deep inside of ourselves that we don't have a right to express ourselves. And it could also be something that's being held in our family system, and we might feel that for some reason we don't have the right to fully express ourselves, that we're holding some kind of pain for somebody. Those are just a few things that could be happening. Why are people uncomfortable when people cry in front of them? Well, again, there could be a number of reasons, but I'll just talk about one of the really obvious ones to me, which is, again, social conditioning or the lack thereof, where we really haven't been taught how to just sit with somebody and support them in their grief. And it's really not that big of a deal. We don't have to say anything. We don't have to do anything. We just have to sit there and hold the container. Just let that person cry, express their grief, tell their story. And we just have to acknowledge that is what's true for them right in the moment. And they just need to have that validated. And it's really not hard. And it's actually a real gift for that person if you can do that for them. And it's a gift for you because you get to watch them and you actually get to feel them regulate in their nervous system. And it can actually even help you co-regulate together. So everybody's getting some healing. So I just want to talk a little bit about the kind of grief that we might be experiencing in these times right now during COVID. There's all kinds of things that we're actually losing. You know, there was that when kids were locked out of school, they couldn't go to the parks, they couldn't visit their grandparents, their families, if their families were out of province. Those are the kind of things that might be going on for children. I know I have two elderly parents, and it's really hard to visit them because they're both in care homes. It's really hard to visit them. And it's really hard for them, so we feel their pain, and we also feel our own pain from missing them. There are lots of reasons right now why we hold grief if people are passing away in our families or our friends, and we can't have funerals. That's really, really hard. We hold that grief deep in our heart because we haven't had a chance to process it in the way that we're typically used to doing that. And I know we might say, well, oh, it's no big deal. Everybody's dealing with it. I just have to suck it up and be an adult about this. Well, the truth is that we all have unique nervous systems, and it's really important for us to recognize when grief is affecting us and how it's affecting us. And because all these external things are affecting us in some way internally in our own way. So we can't compare ourselves to what's going on with other people. So I just want to say that if you feel like you need to cry, I really encourage it because crying has some really good physical benefits. Crying is actually an organic expression that helps us to release a charge in our body that's just too much for us to hold. And I heard a theory that our tears hold stress hormones, and so as we cry, we're actually secreting stress hormones out of our body, so thereby we're detoxifying. And I think we can all attest to the fact that after we cry, we usually feel better. So another thing that was an idea that was presented to me was that when we cry, we take big gasps of air in, and so that actually helps to cool our brain down. And a cool brain helps our parasympathetic nervous system to regulate more than a warm brain does. So that's another reason why crying is good. So, if you're reluctant to cry in front of other people, there could be lots of good reasons for that. And I always advocate that we find ways to keep ourselves safe. And expressing emotion is a place where we want to keep ourselves safe. So if you feel like you can cry in front of other people and not lose some part of yourself, then that's great. You might want to feel your grief as it comes up when you're out in public, and just when you get back home, make sure you take time to sit down by yourself in a quiet space and let that feeling come back up and process your grief that way. Another really great thing to do is to have somebody witness your grief. So if you can pick somebody who you know can just hold a container for you, they won't make your story bigger, they won't minimize your story, they won't justify somebody else's behavior. They'll just hear your story and let you express your grief or your sadness or your anger or whatever it is. Tears come up because of all kinds of emotions. Like I said, it's just our body discharging a lot of emotion or a lot of charge that got held in there. So I'm going to leave this with you. If you feel like you would like to express your emotion in a safe place, I want you to know that I'm always here. You can call on me anytime, and we can just talk about what's going on. And I hope that you have a great day. Bye.